saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But I guess in this case, the saying could go, when in the mountains, do as the mountain riders do. But if I'm gonna ride steep powder, I'm gonna need a real mountain sled. So for today, I've chosen Yamaha's fully revamped Nytro MTX SE 162. It'd be wrong for me to suggest that I'm a pro mountain rider. This is not my typical riding style. However, I can hang a leg out and hold a line on the gnarliest hill or run the steepest chute through the trees when I need to. Which means I have an appreciation and an understanding of what makes a good mountain sled and how these sleds perform. For 2010, Yamaha has completely revamped their Nytro MTX mountain line. They've added a longer track, shaved off about 17 pounds, and improved its deep snow climbing capabilities. The heart of this sled is its 1049cc 3-cylinder 4-banger. Yamaha started its 4-stroke mountain program in its Delta Box chassis with the RX-1 and Vector mountain sleds. But none of their mountain offerings have given the rider as good a combination of ergonomics and power as the Nytro MTX. This engine is the same as what's found in all of Yamaha's Nytro lineup, but the gearing has been lowered and the clutching has been tweaked, so this massive 162 by 2.25 single-ply Camoplast Maverick track doesn't bog down in the deepest POW. Other changes Yamaha made to this sled to both save weight and improve off-trail performance are removing the sway bar up front, moving to the revamped FX2 front suspension geometry, and using a single-ply track out back. To improve the mental horsepower of the Nytro MTX, Yamaha spec'd this thing with a full set of Fox floats, including both skid shocks. Of course, these shocks aren't just about looks. More importantly, they save huge weight. No springs and aluminum construction help shave off some pounds. Furthermore, these aren't just normal Fox floats, these are Float 2s, which means reduced stiction on initial movement and overall smoother operation. Out back, you'll find a Pro Mountain Air skid, so there's no torsion or coil springs at all. The rear arm has got a Float 2. The front arm is set up with a specially designed Float XV. Overall, this setup shaves pounds and rides pretty good on those rough mountain access trails. Probably the biggest change made to the rear end was the approach angle of the track. By lessening this angle, the sled is more able to climb up on top of the snow as opposed to trenching into the snow. Even with the extra weight of the 3-cylinder 4-stroke up front, the Nytro MTX will lift its nose from a dead stop, climb up on the fluff, and go. After spending a whole week in the mountains riding in the powder, I've come to some conclusions about Yamaha's longer and leaner Nytro MTX SE 162. First, this is a fully credible mountain sled. 4-stroke or not, this sled is completely capable and very rideable in any mountain condition. Next, this 4-stroke's excellent power curve combined with its increased length and lighter weight allow it to climb higher and farther than any other stock 4-stroke mountain sled. Finally, the extra weight many mountain riders complain about with 4-stroke powder sleds is really only noticeable when you're facing downhill. The nose of the sled does tend to sink and plow, but only on the way down. So that's not all bad. As an intermediate mountain rider, I can confidently say this Nytro MTX SE 162 took me higher and farther than I thought I was capable of going. It did everything I wanted it to do, and it kept me out of some sticky situations, which, in my books, is exactly what a good mountain sled should do.